This February, history will be made. Millions will watch as 80 years of unjust stigma is left in the past. A product that drove good people to the black market will be revealed as one that's creating a new global market. This February, what inspired the symbol of counterculture will at long last be seen as just culture. The new normal is coming. Will you be one of the first to see it? Visit medmen.com to watch an exclusive preview.
Hey everybody, this is Toof, the country bumpkin at the Brothers Commonplace. Thanks for checking out our podcast. Just a quick disclaimer before we start though, we are a comedy podcast that covers many serious events. We aren't here to purposely offend or disrespect any of the people in our topics. We really aren't. But at the same time, we are trying to make each other laugh and crack jokes and just be goofs in a way, you know? Thanks for listening. Be good. Stay safe and try to laugh at the dark stuff.
All right, fellas, like we practiced.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Come on down. Come on down. Hanging with the brothers tonight, yeah. Come on down to the Brothers Commonplace tonight.
Alrighty, welcome everyone to another episode of The Brothers Commonplace. We are a comedy and crime podcast where we cover monsters, murders, mysteries, and more. And today we got a pretty cool case to go over with you guys. But before we jump into that, let's go ahead and meet the boys in the hood.
What's up, guys? This is Tim, or Sirius Lee Black, as they call me when I bought that pair of FUBUs.
Oh man.
Fuck yeah, dude.
So just Sirius Black with a middle name of Lee.
Hey everyone, this is Danny Glover, and I'm starring in How to Catch a Predator 2.
Oh shit, fuck yeah, dude.
I'm just kidding. This is Toof, the Wicked Juggalo. What's up?
Wait, I don't get the Danny Glover joke.
Predator.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Fuck yeah,
okay.
dude.
I thought maybe a Danny Glover was like a predator now or something. That's what I was like. Oh god, did
He followed in Bill Cosby's footsteps.
Oh fuck yes.
Hey, this is Spence. Just Spence.
All right.
Alrighty. And it's me, it's your boy, it's the kid, K-Dog, and sometimes I like to go hang out at those restaurants where they serve the food with all the lights off, so I just hang out there in complete darkness and talk to people, and it's pretty much the same as talking to a drunk Mel Gibson, I've heard.
What?
So when he gets drunk, he talks about how he hates Jews.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
Oh, man. Nailed
Alrighty.
it.
So today we have a very crazy and twisted episode to talk about with you guys.
Absolutely.
Some of you probably have heard of the Dyatlov Pass Incident. We did an episode on it, so if you haven't listened to that, go check it out.
Check that shit out.
But it's time to join the brothers on our own soil, on our own turf, as we soar into this case like a fucking basketball from the three-point line that was just released from the hands of Kyle Korver.
Oh shit.
This is the American Dyatlov Pass Incident.
Fucking catch and shoot, man.
Are there any American Gladiator jokes in this?
No, I don't think so, man.
All right. Well,
Not yet.
That was mine, and no one laughed, so we're good.
I really would. I wouldn't even know how to crack one at this point.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of the names.
Nitro, dude.
Yeah,
Laser.
was there like okay? There was Laser. Was there
probably
Blazer?
a Turbo, Blazer.
Yeah.
They're just Chevy cars or props from WCW Nitro.
Last week, we recommended that you check out our Brothers Commonplace, and we still recommend that.
Yep.
I think they're like 3 subscriber.
There are 3 as of last night.
Oh shit! I keep forgetting about it. I gotta subscribe to it.
Yeah,
It's not you then?
I don't know.
Wait, dude. Other
The other
people.
one's you, right?
2 of them are me.
Oh,
Okay, that
nice.
makes sense.
I was hoping it was you and someone else, and then my other conclusion would it was 2 of you.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So this week, besides recommending that you check out our subreddit, because why not? I said to myself, why not?
Said to myself, Kyle. I call myself Kyle.
There's a most excellent subreddit you should check out called R Keanu Being Awesome.
Oh hell yeah!
Which is just a collection of photographs of Keanu or video clips of Keanu Reeves.
Hopefully, it's just the whole movie John Wick.
No,
Hell
well,
yeah. Whipping
talking-
Reek's ass.
Oh yeah.
he does a lot of interesting things. Like he'll just sit down and talk to a homeless person for a while, just hang out with them a little bit.
Nice.
And then-
Oh, yeah.
he's a pretty neat guy.
Yeah, I'm glad I got his autograph.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, he was. Toof was there when he was talking to Delonte West. I'm sorry, Delonte.
I used to be Toof.
I'm ashamed by how long it took me to get that.
Yeah.
Because he said homeless guy.
Yeah. Dude, that's the second time I've cracked the joke about Delonte West being homeless.
Poor guy.
And the joke goes the exact same way.
Yeah, dude, it really did.
Alrighty, for our honorary brother of the week, the first one, his name is LTL ATL. So I don't know what that means. You guys know what that means?
Maybe from Atlanta, maybe?
LTL, Little Atlanta. We'll call him Little Atlanta. That sounds sweet.
Yeah,
Isn't that a
cool.
tendon you can tear when you're playing sports?
Pretty close.
But gave us a 5-star. He said, great show, hilarious. Top of my podcast list along with Brohio. Check it out. So the Brohio podcast, I don't know if you guys listen to it. They cover the same shit, and they're also funny. They're pretty cool guys. Cool podcast. They've left us a review.
Oh, nice.
So I guess shout out to Brohio podcast. Check them out also.
They
Definitely.
sound like we should do a crossover episode with them.
We should. Yeah.
Like the Turtles in Time movie. You ever seen that?
God.
Brothers in Time.
Yes.
And then our second, fuck, I forget what we're calling him. Honorary brother. I don't know how I forgot that. I just forgot it. Second honorary brother. Her name is Casey616. Great podcast, 5 stars.
Nice.
I love the podcast. I'd like to hear you guys talk about Malaysian Airlines Flight 370
Oh, okay.
or the Mary
Ooh.
Celeste.
What's
So
Mary
we're going to
Celeste?
talk about the Mary Celeste on our next episode.
What's that
actually.
one?
Nice.
You'll just have to you'll have to listen to the episode when it comes out to find out too.
All right.
You're going to be on it the
Awesome.
week before.
No.
But all right, there's our honorary brothers of the week. If you guys want to be an honorary brother, just leave us an iTunes review or send us an email or something. There's a lot of cool people that I haven't mentioned yet that send us shit on Twitter and
That's
like our
awesome.
stuff every day. I got to give one shout out.
We love
real
you,
quick.
people. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. I mean, you guys get Kevin and Toof to reenact stuff.
That's
so
right.
Keep it up.
Oh, here's his name. You guys don't know him, but he goes by Dad to me. He just said, nice shop, Kev. Thanks for finally getting out of the house.
Nice. Kev actually pulled something up on his phone to say that. I wanted to correct myself. I didn't mean Turtles in Time, although that is the best Turtles movie.
Oh, no, it is
But there's one called Turtles Forever where like the 4 different
Yeah.
generations of turtles all come together in the same movie.
Did not know that existed.
It's amazing.
Exactly.
Like there's an old comic book version of the Turtles that look really different, and they're in it, and like the original 80s ones, and like the 2 different like 90s versions or 2000s versions
Is this
are
a-
all together in the
This is
same
a
movie.
comic or a movie?
It's a movie.
Like
it's a made-for-TV movie.
Anime or like live action?
It's animated.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
and there's like all the different generations of Shredder, like all in the same. Like the universe is crossed, and like all the versions come together. It's
Oh, okay.
amazing.
And a special shout out to the guy on Twitter who goes by OTP/DXFan99.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Literally everything we post, they like and retweet and message.
That's
so
awesome.
they're super cool. So shout out
Nice.
to you. Let's go back in time just a little bit, guys, to the year 1978, the year that The Wiz was released.
Mm.
Good
And also
year.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Well, let's just
Oh,
talk.
yeah.
But The Wiz is where I'm at right now.
Wait, like the black version of the
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz?
Yep.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
I thought
Michael
Michael Jackson
Jackson
was in that.
He is.
Yeah, so it's 70.
Fuck, he wasn't like 6 then, or was he?
I mean, Michael Jackson was a pretty
He's the
old dude.
Yeah.
Because when he died, it was like, what, like 2007? Right?
I thought that had been like 1979 or 83 or something.
1 year
Well-
later.
Well, I think he said 1971.
No, he said 78.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. 1 year later. Okay.
He was more machine than man in the end.
My bad.
Yeah, he was.
Holy shit. I'm sorry, kid.
Ever since that Pepsi commercial, remember where he caught fire?
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my
So alrighty,
God.
1978, 5 men vanished, mysteriously disappearing on their way home from a college basketball game. 4 of the men would be found dead, while the final person was never found. This was in Chico, California. Hey, Chico!
Chico, get your stupid ass over.
That was unnecessary.
Mine was just from next
Friday, yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Was the area code there 619?
Oh, fuck yeah.
I think it was some yogurt or something.
The fucking dog humping him. So you've seen like the pictures of all these people, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about one of the guys' picture.
All right. Well, I was just gonna say that the one dude looks like Squinch's grandpa when he's a cop.
Yep, that's the guy we're going to talk about.
Okay, cool. Did you already? Do you have that joke on there?
No,
Oh,
but
okay.
I can't wait. 'cause,
Okay.
Yeah. So already, there was a half moon in the sky, and it was the dead of winter, February 24th. Clear black night, clear white moon. Warren G is on the streets trying to consume.
Oh,
fuck yeah.
He would have been 8 at this time, so maybe he was. Anyway, so I spent most of my time researching this episode. I was like, I read about the Wiz and Warren G.
Yeah.
So this could be a rough episode.
It's all right. That's all we need
well
to know.
informed.
So the group of men aged 24 to 32 had gone to an away game for a college basketball game. It was about 50 miles away. The car was a 1969 Mercury Montego. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that or not. It's a fucking badass car, though. And after the game, they got into the car to make their drive back home.
That's some dedicated fans that drive that far for an away game, 50 miles.
Oh, yeah.
That's like here to Cleveland.
Yeah, they're really into their basketball. They love their basketball. We'll talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this car is fucking sweet. Those turquoise and white, super rad. It's a badass car. And FYI, the team won that game also.
Yeah.
So at least I got to see them
Oh, yeah.
win a game.
Their last wish.
Oh, God. So we know it wasn't a girls' basketball game and they weren't playing UConn
Oh.
because they fucking never lose. Girls can ball. So before we talk about more of the story, we're going to talk about the Five Guys real quick.
Oh, absolutely. It's a great fucking hamburger restaurant.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Andrew, you got anything to say? Good fries. All right. No, real quick though, we did have someone ask about Andrew.
Wait, really?
Yeah, she was like, I can't wait to. She's like, I can't wait to listen and see what happened to Andrew or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, he's kind of on weird. He's got schedule problems right
Yeah,
now,
he's
so
on-
hopefully
he's on-
we'll get him on here sometime
He's
soon.
on a hiatus.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so the Five Guys, they were named Ted Weir, William Sterling, Jake Madruga, Jack Hewitt. Did I say Jake Madruga? I meant Jack. Jack Madruga, Jack Hewitt, and Gary Mathias. All these names sound super fucking
Dude,
familiar.
they
don't
they all sound like basketball players.
Yeah.
They really do.
I thought they all sound like TNA wrestlers to me in a way.
Oh, okay. I could see that.
And they were said to have been mentally deficient, and some were slower than the others. However, 2 of them, Madruga and Mathias, had served in the U.S. Army at one point.
I didn't read the mentally deficient part. I don't remember seeing that.
Well, and the thing is like when this first happened, all the newspapers came out saying they were all like mentally challenged and stuff, but that wasn't exactly true. 3 of them were diagnosed as being having mental problems. 2 of them were in the Army, so they couldn't have been like that
Yeah.
bad.
Was it just like
And then-
learning issues?
And then
or?
one of them was schizophrenic.
Oh, okay. So either mental illnesses or just learning issues.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so 3 were diagnosed, 1 wasn't, and then 1 was just a schizophrenic.
I mean, they let Kohlraus in, so.
Nobody gets it.
Got him.
Everyone in this room knows who
I met him once. That's Twan's brother, right? Yeah.
So Ted was said to have been a pretty happy guy. He enjoyed waving at strangers, and if they didn't wave back, he took it personally, and it would like hurt his feelings. And he also liked to use the telephone to call his friend William, and he would read him funny names that he found in the phone book.
Yeah.
So that's kind of showing where he's at.
He also liked to smoke weed with Mark Wahlberg. His name's Ted.
Oh my god! Come on, the movie Ted.
Oh, the fucking holy shit, dude! How did I not get that?
Oh fuck!
Oh my god! Wow. They play a game. Like all the 5 guys, they play this game where they go to like a bar when they're trying to get Ted laid, and they play this game called "Have You Met Ted?" This is how I met your mother.
And the very last words that he said to his family when he took off were, first his grandma yelled out to him as he was leaving and said, "You need a coat." To which he replied, "Oh, Grandma, I won't need a coat. Not tonight."
What the fuck?
Yeah, and I know it's only weird because we know what happens.
Yeah.
But it's such an eerie thing to be his final words, like just the fact that he ends it with "not tonight."
Dude, I hope
So that's weird as fuck.
like he walks out the door and then he slowly opens it back up and it says, "Tonight, where I'm going, we will need
Oh
roads."
fuck yeah!
Yeah.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Tonight never mind. I was trying to think of a bad joke, but because they get lost and take the wrong roads.
Yeah.
I was trying to piece together a joke where they did need roads, but I can't get there right now. I don't know
She
where to
just
go.
didn't remember the last part where he said, "Tonight's going to be a good night."
Is that
And then he yelled, "Nip High football
Oh
rules!"
fuck yes, dude.
is that what Vince McMahon said when he fired Dustin and Cody?
Yeah, they don't need those roads.
All the guys were between the ages 24 and 32. I don't remember how old Ted was. I didn't mark it down. I think he was I have no idea. I really can't remember. So next up, we have Jackie Hewitt. He was 24. He was described as having a slight droop to his head. So poor dude, that kind of sucks to be the first thing described about him. Oh, yeah. He was also very slow, especially when it came to work or responding to people. He would always take a few minutes to gather himself and speak. And he was said to be like a brother to Ted, and he would follow him everywhere. And Ted was always very protective of Jack.
Did he have like autism?
I have no idea.
Kind of sounds like autism.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the actual diagnosis were. I just know 3 of them were diagnosed.
Yeah.
One wasn't diagnosed, but they believed he was still pretty slow.
And none of these guys were related, so that's crazy that they were all friends.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about how they pretty much became friends.
He can't have had autism back in '78 because they didn't have vaccines back then.
Oh, shit.
yes.
True. That's true, Spence.
I read
Just
that.
kidding. It's false.
I read that his dog also had a droop to his head. He called his
Droopy.
dogs Droop Dog.
Dude, you also could have gone with Droopy because that was a fucking cartoon dog.
That was his other dog.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Next up, we have William Lee Sterling. He was 28, and he was said to be a very generous and gentle man. The first thing people noticed about him was his dark hair that contrasted with his blue eyes. He would spend his time visiting mental institutions and meeting with people and reading them religious texts. So he was deeply religious and enjoyed spreading the word of God. And he was very close friends with our next dude, Jack Madruga.
I'm not even. It's a joke. Whatever. I'm trying to make a joke here. But dark hair with blue eyes. Did he write the screenplay for The Room?
Oh my God. Yes.
So you say contrast, dark hair, blue eyes. I was like, fucking Tommy Wiseau, man.
Yeah.
It's all I can picture.
Dude,
Oh, hi, Jack.
dude, I really can just see these 5 people being the top 5 draft picks. Like of any sport, honestly. Like their names, it just reminds me of basketball,
like the
football,
fucking
any
A-team.
sport. Yeah, that works for me too, actually.
So Jack Madruga, our next dude, he's 30. And this isn't funny, but if you look at the picture of him, he looks like a combination of the Honky Tonk Man, Murdoch, and Mr. Blonde from Reservoir Dogs.
Oh man.
So that's really all I could picture of him as when I saw him.
Shit, hang on. All right, keep going. I'm looking.
And he was an Army veteran that served in Vietnam, and he had recently been laid off from his job. He was thought of being as a little slow, but he did have his driver's license, and he was the owner of that badass car.
Oh, no.
Tim just saw the picture. I mean, it's not funny, but doesn't he?
Yeah.
Can you?
Oh my God. It's that one, right?
Yeah, the one in the middle.
Yeah, dude.
Doesn't he
Yeah.
look like a
Yeah.
combination of all those?
He looks so much like yeah, he really does. Holy shit.
Honky Tonk Man.
Holy shit, man. Okay, sorry. Whew.
And our last guy, the 5th member, Gary Mathias. He was 25, and he was the one in the pictures that wore the big glasses that made his eyes look giant. But without them, everything would appear in doubles to him.
Yeah.
He worked part-time for his stepfather as an assistant gardener, and he also received disability pay from the U.S. Army.
Didn't he get fired from McDonald's because he'd always work without his glasses and they ran out of hamburger patties really quickly?
The accidental inventor of the McDouble.
Oh fuck.
Holy shit, dude.
Should be getting royalties for that.
That's fucking good, too.
Did he write a Journey song as well? How's it go? It's like, clear my eyes, I got double vision. I'm so sorry that I've literally made fun of every single guy you've announced. I mean, it's horrible what happened, and they're just all good sports fans.
The names fucking work, man.
And they served for us, too.
Yeah.
Hey,
And he wrote the screenplay for a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie. Double toilet trouble.
Dude, that is the second time we've mentioned that in
Dude,
the podcast.
yeah.
Fuck yes.
I'm proud of it.
Well, we do put a disclaimer at the beginning for reasons like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, imagine if we were like exact, hey, this disclaimer is because we make fun of retarded guys' names in this episode for about a half hour. So.
Oh, I thought it was because we mentioned fucking Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen a couple
And The
times.
Wiz.
Don't fucking listen to this, guys. We mentioned Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
But Gary, he had received a psychiatric discharge while he was overseas in Germany. And the reason for this was because of drug problems and a mental health concern. And this would have been 5 years before the disappearance, so he would have been around the age of 20. And And after his army release, he was also put on medication for paranoid schizophrenia.
Oh, nice.
And also, if you look at his picture, he looks like he's fucking 40 years old.
Oh, yeah.
Like, no offense, because, like, we don't know what happened to him or the others, but he looks, like, scary as fuck.
They figured it out. Like, he has, like, the Benjamin Button, like kind of stuff. And so he's growing, like, he's growing younger when he's supposed to be growing older. So, actually, in the 90s, he changes his name, and he's actually a high school student named Corey Matthews.
I heard he also... After all this, he got a job as like a police officer, but he's kind of a dick to the people.
Yeah.
And when he showed up to a noise complaint, and it's just going to be an idle hand joke about Anton killing him.
You guys were dorks.
So yeah, one of the cops from Idle Hands. But police records show he had become violent on occasion, and he was charged with assault twice.
Wow.
And although they believe that he hadn't had a psychiatric, quote, haywire period in over 2 years, so it has been a while since he's had anything, so the medication was supposedly working pretty well. And he was considered high functioning. However, whenever he is forced into taxing or stressful situations, he would kind of break down and lose it a little bit.
Yeah, we all do.
I gotta say it. So, did he commit assault with pepper spray? And did he have any good seasoning while he did it?
He assaults the salt.
So the five guys were all friends, and they were known to be very predictable. They enjoyed hanging out together, going to sports games, out to eat, staying home, and also just being together at a day program for the mentally challenged that was called the Gateway Project. That sounds shady as fuck. Just the name of it. Oh my God, it is him.
It looks so much like him, dude.
Look
The
up the
Gateway
dude from The
Project.
Sandlot, and that's who Gary looks exactly
I
like.
didn't mean to, have it up above
Holy
it, but
shit.
Yeah, dude, it looks so much like him.
Oh, forever. And we'll just edit this part in at the very end of the episode, and Gary would be missing forever. I'm so sorry.
We do have to keep that in.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, so they all worked together at a mentally challenged program called the Gateway Project.
The Heaven's Gateway Project.
But that was a lot better than the Gateway 2000 project that just hooked every white family up with shitty computers.
With the fucking cow box.
Yeah, dude, we had one. It actually wasn't that bad, but I was a kid, so I don't remember.
Yeah.
It probably sucked.
Gateway. God damn.
So they all worked together there, and that's where they became friends. And the first four were friends a lot longer, and then Gary had just recently started hanging out with them a few months prior. And you can tell all this happened back in the late 70s, because if you look at the newspapers and articles, a lot of them start off like this: 5 retarded men gone missing.
Oh, come
shit,
on.
dude.
On the hunt for 5 retarded men.
Oh my God.
So it's awful.
Is it, Kev?
It's not funny. It's awful. But I can't help but chuckle, especially because the headline 5 retarded men missing could have easily just been about us during our Bigfoot episode where we go missing. That's all I could think of.
Or On the Hunt for 5 Retarded Men could just be the subtitle for like the next female Ghostbusters movie where they're trying to get if they're trying to get boyfriends.
No,
That
he
is
said
true,
it. Yeah,
dude.
definitely.
Every male character in that movie is just an idiot.
Yeah.
Like
I never
that
seen
movie
it.
sucks. I feel like there's a joke somewhere about how like the headline 5 retarded men missing somehow. I don't know how to piece together something about like us or just went back in time and that was us or something. But I don't really know how, but like something
that
where
works.
we're them.
I like that. I like it like that.
And then they reformed and made Chinese democracy.
Oh shit!
I know. It's only one guy's
Jesus.
bad in there. I've been meaning to tell you.
Wait, we did that?
I was bored at work, so I just started looking up Guns N' Roses live, like their most recent stuff. And they had something in 2017 called Rocking in Rio or something like that.
Yeah, Rock and Rio.
Holy shit. Axl Rose is so bad.
Oh yeah.
He sounds like Mickey Mouse. Welcome to the jungle. I was like, what the fuck is this, dude?
Will you give us one more Guns N' Roses song?
What did I listen to? Well, my Michelle. I was like, what is this Mickey Mouse shit, dude?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Dude,
He's
come on.
shot.
We can all be surprised that he's still alive, though.
Yeah.
Basically, any rock star living this long is surprising.
Honestly, I was surprised he was still with the band. Like I couldn't like recognize him at first, and I was like, yeah, he's wearing that stupid fucking bandana and scarf thing. Yeah, that's
Dude, how
him.
the fuck is Ozzy Osbourne still alive while we're on that topic?
I read a joke online that's super funny where they're saying that that Pearl Jam song was pretty much just Eddie Vedder making fun of everyone, whereas whoa, I'm still alive.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
So, but the thing is about these 5, they weren't all mentally retarded or believed to have been mentally retarded, just maybe just like a little bit slower. I'm not really quite sure.
Are you talking about us or the story?
Both. It works for both.
Oh, okay.
Everything we're saying in this episode works for them and us.
There's a chance if
Except I think some of them got laid.
if you add up all of our GPAs, we're probably worse. I guarantee I bring you all down.
I remember.
Oh, dude, I'm with you.
I don't know why they do this. It's so fucking horrible. But our grade cards, when you got your GPA at the end of the year, it had your number listed in order, like one out of.
Yeah,
we had
dude.
like 80 kids.
Yeah.
And it would have like what order from GPA highest to
Fuck
lowest. I
yes.
don't know why they would put it. Was it you, Toof, that like you refused to show us what yours was?
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I was the kid that like when the teacher would yell out like the grades like out loud, like you know how the classes would teach them like Stephanie, you got an A, and for me she'd always like, okay, you want to come up here and look, because she wouldn't say it out loud.
Oh man.
So funny.
Yeah, because you knew that I just got a fucking F minus.
Our biology teacher would always do that. So be like, Kevin, I'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, all right, 84 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we had this one kid, I'm not going to say it,
Yeah.
but I will let you know his nickname was Nasty Nate. So
Oh,
that's
okay. I know who it is. I know
and
who it is.
every fucking time he'd do it, he'd be like, yeah. He'd be like, 36. It was like his third year in this class.
Dude, they wouldn't even say mine. Like, you might want to come up here. I look, it's like a fucking -10.
Dude, I was a freshman and he was a senior. Or no, he might have been a junior.
Yeah, he was. He
Yeah.
was
Junior?
three above us.
He was 3 above us?
Yeah.
So he
Oh,
was
man.
a senior.
Oh no, I meant junior then. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Alrighty, back to this. Sorry. So the thing is they weren't all mentally retarded. 3 were diagnosed. Madruga wasn't diagnosed, but he was known to be pretty slow. And then Gary wasn't. He was schizophrenic. So some of the articles and headlines make it out to be there's just like 5 helpless, mentally retarded guys out there lost in the woods. Oh, Tim, that's not funny. But that's kind of how a lot of it was worded back then. Like
Yeah.
so everyone thought it was just like. I'm not gonna
I mean,
say-
this was 79, so like anti-Semitism, anti-Semitic.
yeah.
Like it didn't really matter. You can be racist. I mean,
Yeah.
Blazing Saddles hasn't come out yet.
Yeah,
so
so
like
you
that's how racist you can be.
Got away with a lot of stuff back then.
So the 5, they weren't all completely incompetent. Jack had a car and his license. And there's one time when Ted and William had saved a person's life after they came across someone that had overdosed on Valium, and they managed to get him to the hospital.
Wow.
So it shows they're not completely, like, they know what's going on.
Oh yeah, totally.
And Gary Mathias wasn't slow. He was schizophrenic, but he was scary as fuck looking, like we mentioned, and there's
Yes.
no way he's 25.
No.
So we can definitely cut out the part that they probably directed season 12 of The Office. Then season 9. That's what I
Yeah,
was thinking.
yeah.
And this is what makes the case so weird also, is they were a group that was very predictable to the point where they would always do things on a set schedule. So they're not doing shit out of the ordinary or anything like that. Like they would stick to a certain schedule. So everyone knew what they'd be doing pretty much.
Yeah. So, like, going to the game, was that, like, something that they wouldn't normally do?
No, that was something that was planned, and they were all super excited about it
Yeah.
also. We'll talk more about it coming up. They loved basketball.
So, really, only one thing is acting out of character. Then,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So that's how they knew something was
kind
really...
of adds to it.
So after the away game on the night of February the 24th, they were going to drive back home to Yuba City, which was about 50 miles. They played on a handicap basketball team, and they had a game coming up the next morning. And they loved their sports. They were very excited for this game. And Ted's mother stated that there's nothing in the world that he would skip this game for. He loved it. And they were practicing and all talking about playing this game in the Special Olympics Championship. So they're like super excited as hell for this.
Yeah.
And Jack, Madruga's mother, said, quote, he had gone to the Special Olympics playoffs last year and he had gotten Sally Struthers' autograph.
Nice.
He even had his basketball clothes laid out in his room, like in preparation for the game. So they're all just super ecstatic and excited. So there's no way they would have skipped it for anything, you know?
It's a good thing that they didn't go to that one, though, because that was the year that Johnny Knoxville decided to rig it. It's a fucking stupid movie.
Yeah, if you don't know who Sally Struthers is, she was the actress on All in the Family.
Yeah.
And she also did a voice in an episode of The Wild Thornberrys. It's a pretty good role, it looks like. She played the role of a Galapagos penguin.
Oh, fuck yeah. I mean, that would be fitting, but...
Is she the people in South Park they made fun of for being extremely
yes.
fat?
Yes. But she's also, like, she used to be on a bunch of the commercials for, like, African kids or whatever, trying to get them food and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And Jack had
Feed him her.
And Jack had his sneakers clean and his jersey ready to go, and the others were just excited as well and stated, like, "Don't let me oversleep. I don't want to miss this."
Yeah.
Oh,
So there's just a ton of evidence of how excited they are for this. They each had their own jerseys, and they were part of a team known as the Gateway Gators. That's a pretty sweet name, though.
Yeah, it's cool. I kind of sounds like somehow like sexual, and
It does.
I'm trying to crack a joke,
baby,
but
you ready for the Gateway Gator?
All right. If we're on the topic of sex, if I was excited as they were, let's just say if I was in that basketball game, I wouldn't make it to the second quarter. I'd be a 1 minute man.
oh yeah,
Okay. All right.
Gator is a gateway drug.
oh yeah, it is.
After the away game, the five got into the Montego and headed off, making a stop at a local grocery store to pick up some snacks. And here's what they bought. And they list, like, the actual names. And I don't know. Part of me is like, I don't know if they're doing that in the articles for, like, it doesn't make sense for, like, product placement in a way. Because they don't just say, like, pie, candy bar. They get
say
specific
what it is.
on every fucking source.
Yeah.
So this is what they got. Hostess cherry pie. 1 Langendorf lemon pie.
Whatever the fuck that is.
1 Snickers bar, 1 Marathon bar, 2 Pepsis, and 1.5 quarts of milk.
Yeah.
So, and if they weren't planning on heading home, they probably would have gotten more or better food. I would imagine.
Didn't they get 1 Ron Jeremy cream pie? Did they not get?
Oh no, that was me.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Oh, that was my mom. Sorry, guys.
She was about to get it, but I cut in front of her. I just like jumped, like, you know how in movies where like they run and shove someone out of the way and they take the bullet. It was like that, but it was just I don't know.
Your butthole was
I took
out?
the cream pie with the butthole.
That's weird, though.
Get down.
1.5 quarts?
Yeah, that's what it said.
That's weird. Never heard of that.
That's like a
Just
weird
quart
combo.
milk?
And like I don't want this to come. This is gonna. There's no easy way to say this. It's gonna be bad. But this sounds like what a car of like mentally handicapped guys. This sounds like what they would buy.
Yeah.
Like it's like the most random shit, like pies, Snickers, and half quart and a half of milk.
Yeah,
Like none of them go together. Or anything.
like they're like eating sweets and like drinking the milk with it, which that's sounds like something you would do if you were like having like a slumber party with a bunch of friends when you were like 12 or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's what we would all do.
yeah, I mean we didn't do anything else.
No.
We never got in a circle and did anything else, guys.
Yeah, we never got the gack out and pushed it into the edge of the container to make fart noises either.
We never played Jizz Biscuit, okay? Stop asking.
Because it's not a game, it's a way of life. You fuckers, you fucking idiots, you fucking haters.
God, I feel like you guys were just ragging on me because at work
Holy shit.
I usually keep milk or orange juice at work. I eat Snickers and Milky Ways on the vending machine, and when I stop at the Sullivan gas station, I get those half pie things. God damn it.
We're sorry too.
The worst part of that is stopping at the Sullivan gas station.
The word Kevin's like, that's something a retard would get. I was like, that's all I kept picturing in my head.
Holy shit.
I'm sorry too.
I mean, you didn't. I know you didn't say that.
I
But,
didn't know, man. Yeah, this
Sorry, too.
this grocery store trip would be the last time that any of them were seen alive. And the next morning, the families realized that the boys had not arrived home. I don't know why I keep saying boy. I think they referred to them as the boys, even though they're all men and older men, like 24 to 30, whatever it was.
They started that band. It's Boys to Men.
it's probably just somewhat.
Girl, relax.
Let's
just-
go slow.
I got 1.5 quarts of milk.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'll say it's just a way to make them seem more gentler, I guess.
Yeah, I think so, really.
Like the way you introduce us, all your boys.
All my
Lovable-
sweet boys.
Sweet, lovable boys.
Yeah, but I stole that because one of the guys who podcasts I really like, the McElroys, always announces the boys.
Oh,
It's an homage to them. Always a gentleman, never a gentleman. What was the name of that show?
Oh,
We tried to watch it.
Snuff box. Fuck
Oh,
you.
that's just my boyfriend over there. Fuck you.
That's right. So good.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, though.
This doesn't quite make sense, but maybe they were the backward boys.
Yeah, so the families, they realized that the boys had not arrived home, and they hadn't heard from any of them either. And they knew this was a huge problem because they were about to miss their game that they had all looked forward to. And Ted's mother had woken up at 5 a.m. that morning. She said she woke up afraid, but she couldn't explain why she woke up or had that feeling. But she thought maybe that the Lord decided that it was time to end her one last night of solid sleep.
Maybe
It's
she-
like so fucking sad.
Yeah, dude,
and
that
scary.
I mean, that sucks because really it's just because like she was having nightmares because she had just watched Joe Dirt 2 the night before, so that's all it was.
I'll say she drank all of her son's milk and woke up with some diarrhea belly and shit it all out. Coated the bowl, even the spots the water doesn't touch.
She woke up like breathing heavily, like Meatloaf on stage. And the mothers, they all called one another hoping to hear something or just anything, but they got nothing. None of the boys were home or had come home that night. They were all missing. And nothing happened for the next couple of days. And then on Tuesday, February 28th, they found Madruga's Mercury. And then a whole bunch of mystery and confusion would soon follow. Crazy about a Mercury.
Oh yes.
I've had 2 Mercuries and I loved them both.
Oh, yeah. If I had money, dude, tell you what I'd do.
I did. I think I total spent $1,300 for both of them.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. So the car was found 70 miles from Chico in the opposite direction of where their home of Yuba City was at.
Chico was getting close though.
Yeah,
It was 70 miles at first, but he was cutting that in half pretty quick.
Yeah, he's pretty good. They called him the Aztec Warrior. Hey, what'd you do to my dog, man?
I think it's yogurt or something.
None of the family were able to speculate on why they might have driven up that way. Since it was dark, late, and the road was a long and winding dirt road, it didn't make any sense to them.
Yeah.
And inside the car, they found a bunch of food and candy wrappers and also the half-eaten Marathon bar.
What the fuck is a marathon bar?
Just another Snickers bar. It's like a Snickers energy bar.
Oh, okay.
Huh. Do they still do that? Because, like, you know how Snickers have those, like, sayings on the back of them, like, scrumdiddlyumptious, or, like, fucking, like, a random saying, like,
Well, that's a Wonka bar.
like power. I don't know. They have, like,
Yeah.
weird sayings on it.
I don't like chocolate.
All right, I've seen it say marathon before, and I was just like, the gas station? What, running marathon?
Dude, when he
Whatever, and
said, I
fucking just skipped
legit
it.
thought that's what he was talking about when he said marathon
Yeah,
too.
I was like, what?
I
the
mean,
fuck?
back then, if it's a Snickers energy bar, that probably just means they put fucking cocaine in it.
Dude, yeah, really, probably cocaine or speed.
So yeah, buy a candy bar, get a movie free with its speed.
Oh yes.
You ever see
Keanu.
You ever see that episode of The Simpsons where Homer's talking about it?
No.
And he's like, yeah, this movie is about the speeding bus. It kept speeding and speeding. And like he keeps saying the word speed over and over. And then he's like, I think it was called The Bus That Couldn't Slow Down.
He finally slowed down after his 13 years in Pittsburgh.
Oh, shit.
The
Bettis.
Bettis.
Fuck yeah, too.
Okay.
So the car was found stopped at a snow line. And although the tires had apparently been spinning, the car was not actually stuck. And 5 men easily could have pushed it back onto the road. So it was like barely stuck.
Yeah, and they're smart enough to push that back. Like you couldn't just say that. Like maybe they didn't understand. Like,
Yeah.
because they were able to do other. Like,
Yeah, that's something you would know.
Yeah.
And the car also had a quarter tank of gas. And there were 4 maps in the car, including one in California where they were. And the keys were missing. And the police were able to hotwire the car, and it started right up. So the car was in fine and working condition. It was just stuck in a little bit of snow.
Yeah.
They had 4 maps, and only one of them was the state they were in. What were the other 3? Did they have like a Skyrim map?
I hope, dude. Skyrim, El Dorado.
I was gonna say one was the map for the
The
General
Marauders
Knox
map?
armory thing from Borderlands 1.
One of the
nice.
maps was actually missing, but that's because it was tattooed on one of their backs.
Oh, Waterworld? Yes, dude.
Oh,
Holy
yeah.
shit, man.
I was thinking the wrong thing. I thought you were talking about, dude, where's my car?
See,
Wait, I don't remember.
No, they have tattoos like
yeah.
says dude.
Yeah, I really thought you were going with the Always Sunny joke where he pretends the one's tattooed on his butt and he farts in his face, but I like the Waterworld one more.
Yeah.
The bottom of the car was completely undamaged, and this car is a heavy American car with a low-hanging muffler, and with 5 guys in it, it would be hanging down some too. But there was no damage at the bottom, which led investigators to believe that the driver had either used astonishing care and precision, or he knew the road so well that he knew where all the holes and all the shitty spots and bumps were.
Well,
They said that was pretty much impossible.
yeah.
Like to drive through a storm like that up a shitty mountain road and have nothing at all, like no mud marks, nothing on it on the bottom. So that's weird.
Yeah, it really makes no sense.
I would cut a year off my life if I was always described as a heavy American car with a low hanging muffler. Dude, I wish. Oh,
Dude,
man.
well, usually when I'm around 5 guys, I usually have something low hanging.
Dude, if I ever find a genie, too, if that's going to be one wish for you. And then the other 2 wishes, I'm banging Natalie from Facts of Life.
Twice.
I probably, no, never mind. Yeah, I probably wouldn't need a genie for that.
All you need is a quarter and a fucking a phone booth or something. Get a hold of her real quick. And
You know, I kind of really like the girl that was a tomboy. Was her name Joey or Joe? I used to
it
have to
might be
watch this with
Joey.
my mom. She was kind of hot.
I don't remember.
And Tootie?
Tootie was the
Black.
okay. Which one was the retarded one?
Probably Natalie.
Okay.
And the car was also found to be unlocked and with the driver's side window rolled down. So this road, it's a bumpy mountain dirt road, complete darkness in the middle of the night. And according to Madruga's family, he would never let anyone else drive that car. And there's also no way he knew that road either because he hated camping and he hated the cold.
Yeah.
And he would have had no reason to ever drive out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Is this during the blizzard?
The weather was shitty. During the a couple days later, they get a lot of snow. I mean, there was snow here. I don't think it was super bad.
Yeah.
But I think it was decently shitty.
Because, I mean, it's California, right?
Yeah.
So they probably didn't like really get much of like the blizzard because the blizzard
Well,
was
the
70.
next day, they get 9 inches of snow.
Oh,
It's probably
okay,
Northern
gotcha.
California.
Yeah, so because the blizzard of 78 was fucking
Oh,
crazy.
did I say southern? I think I said southern accidentally earlier.
Oh, I'm not even
Yeah.
No, I was just saying Northern California gets snow a lot.
sure. Yeah.
And almost all the boys hated camping and hadn't been out this way. They were mostly guys who just enjoyed staying home with their friends and just hanging out at home. So nobody can really come up with a reason as to why they would have wanted to drive up this road and into the mountains. And the day that the car was found, there was a terrible storm that brought in 9 inches of snow on the upper mountains. And the search teams almost lost some of their own guys during the search because of how bad and shitty the weather was. And they searched and searched, but they couldn't find anything. No shoes, no clues, no bodies, nothing. They had no choice but to wait until spring after everything had thawed out.
Wow, dude.
Damn.
When was this? Like what? Like this was still in
This
February,
is
right?
February, yeah.
Yeah, so really they're waiting at least a month.
And nothing gets found, we'll talk about it, until June. So,
Jesus Christ. I mean, obviously at that point, you know, they couldn't really help anyway, but still it's crazy that they waited that long.
yeah. All right, so now we're going to go into some sightings. Was there anything you wanted to mention or talk about before we jump into this?
So I heard you mention something about the snow being super bad. So what? We're going from 5 million challenge guys to 3 now.
Alrighty, on to the sightings. So there were many reports of sightings, like there usually are. Whenever it comes to cases like this, you always get a shit ton of sightings. However, there were only 2 that really stuck out to the investigators. The first one was a man named Joseph Shones. He stated that he was on the road that same night and at the same time as the group of guys. He was out checking the snow line because he had a cabin up there and he wanted to bring his wife and daughter up that weekend. However, he said that while he was trying to push his car out after getting stuck in the snow, he started having a mild heart attack.
Yeah.
It's like much like Meatloaf whenever he's on stage. Yeah, his car was stuck about 50 yards beyond where the mercury was found.
Yeah.
And doctors would also later confirm that he did indeed have a heart attack.
Oh, yeah.
So, but some of what this guy says is a little iffy. And plus, he's given a report during a heart attack, you know, so.
If what he says is true, it's pretty fucking crazy.
So he managed to get himself inside his car, and he left the lights and heat on while he sat there recovering. And this is when he said that he heard a whistling sound at one point, and he also heard people talking, and then he saw a woman walking by in the distance holding a baby. And I've also heard reports that he thought he saw a group of men and then also a woman carrying a baby with them.
I heard the one I read had both in it.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if one of the guys maybe had long hair and was carrying something.
Yeah.
Or it just wasn't them at all, or he imagined all this. I don't know.
It's probably the last one, but...
So,
The guy with long hair carrying the gallon of milk.
Oh, fuck, dude. Holy shit, that could have been
wait,
it.
maybe it was a gallon, the fucking milk jug he thought was a baby.
Dude, it really could have
Could
been
have been a
it.
guy with long hair
Yeah.
carrying a milk jug.
Could have been.
He then gets out of his car and he walked toward where he could see their headlights, and he yelled out for help. But as he approached and yelled for help, they stopped talking and turned their headlights off. So he's like, all right, I guess I'll just get back in my car then. So he gets back into his car to lay down, and then a little bit later, he saw lights outside his window again, but this time they were flashlight beams. So once again, he tries calling out for help, and then they turned their lights off and pretty much just walked away and off in the distance.
And this is all like on a road, like they're all kind of like stuck in a ditch, kind of.
This is like, they took like a dirt mountain path road that no one takes.
Okay.
So, and this is a road that you don't just get on.
Mm-hmm.
It's one they said you had to actually be going for to find, you know?
Yeah.
Especially with all the snow and shit. So that's like the only reason the other guy was going out here is because he had a cabin out here in the woods.
Okay. Still super weird and coincidental, but
Shones then laid in his car again until it ran out of gas, and then he walked 8 miles to the nearby lodge called the Mountain House, which is a fucking sweet name.
Oh, yeah.
But fuck, that takes some will, man, to have a heart attack and then walk 8 miles in a fucking snowstorm.
That's a fucked up thing is he was able to do it. The guy having a fucking heart attack. So why couldn't these 5, like maybe not mentally strong, but completely normal people besides that, why couldn't they have walked?
Yeah, well, they do walk, but not here.
Not the right way or
Yeah.
where the fuck they went.
Yeah.
They needed their minds to decide which way to go.
I guess.
was this guy my grandpa, and was he walking to school uphill and downhill
Yeah, dude, barefoot.
in 9 inches of snow after a heart attack in 5th grade?
Yeah, we get it, Grandpa. Your life fucking sucked. Okay,
But
yeah.
thanks-
I'll go outside and pick out the stick you're going to whip me with, you old son of a bitch.
Hey, I was in Korea. I could cry fucking rivers with my tears.
Yeah, dude.
I'm having a tough fucking life.
Yeah, okay, I got it, Grandpa. You passed down your chromosomes to me. Good job.
Come on,
Damn
man.
it.
But yeah, so this part is also a little weird. It says that he stopped at the Mountain House to have a drink before heading back up the road. So I don't know if that's like a beer or water or
Yeah, it
anything.
better not have been a fucking beer.
But, I mean, that is pretty badass if that's what it is. Like, he had a heart attack, walks 8 miles, and then has a beer.
Here you go, Hart. Let's see if you could take it again. And he also stopped to have a fucking pizza and a bunch of wings, too.
And, yeah, so then after that drink, he gets taken back to where his car was. And at the location where he heard the voices, he saw the Mercury Montego sitting empty in the middle of the road.
I thought he saw that like when he walked past it, like in the night and stuff. So I think the one I read, I must have read it wrong.
Well, his Mercury, he might have walked past it also. Because his car was 50 yards beyond the Mercury, so he would have passed it on his way there.
Yeah.
And then, but I think it says that what I took from it was that after he goes to the Mountain House and has a drink, like I think the manager or a guy there gave him a ride back to his car.
Okay.
So that's when it's a little bit lighter and he drives
You can
back and
see.
you can see the car
Okay.
sitting there.
So when he first passed it, he probably couldn't tell if it like had people in it or not.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but the car was empty whenever he went by it.
That
Yeah.
story is kind of sketch to me, because, like, if I'm stuck in a snowdrift and I'm lucky enough to see a car, like, well, if it's 50 yards, it's like 150 feet, like, near me. We'll say 200 feet close to me. I think I'm walking up to that fucking car and be like, hey, can you guys help me push my fucking car out? I'll help you push yours out.
Well, he tried twice to call out to him and ask him for help, and every time they would turn their lights off.
Oh, I'll say,
And then on the last one, the first one, he saw their headlights on, and then when he asked for help, they shut those off. And then the second time, he saw them with flashlights, and then they turned those off and ran off.
I think he tried a third time. They threw a Molotov cocktail at him.
Yeah.
Get out of here, you old fucker.
I'm just surprised, like, he's willing to walk 8 miles, but not, like, walk up to the car to talk to him.
He's willing to watch 8 Mile, but not walk up to the car and talk to him.
And then the fourth time is they all got in the car, and they got surrounded by this mist,
Oh.
and they only had enough bullets to.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I'm not going to ruin the ending of
Yes.
that movie, but
Yes.
if you know what movie I'm talking about,
the
you'll
ending
get
is
that.
fucking incredible.
Hint: the title was in the sentence Kevin said.
Just-
So this guy, the details are sketchy, but I don't think he's making it all up because the car is there.
Yeah.
And I don't think he made it up. I just think the woman part, I think he might have imagined. But he was in the middle of a heart attack also trying to give a story.
Did they find the car because of him?
That's another thing. I don't know because they got, I think so.
Because that'd be.
But they got a snowstorm right then after that, so they couldn't go get it. But they found it like 2 days later. So
that would make it a lot more credible if they found the car because of him.
I imagine it probably would have been. So Shones also told police that right after the second incident of lights, he recalled seeing a pickup truck parking 20 feet behind him briefly and then driving off down the road. But he would also later tell the police that he does remember saying that, but he doesn't remember why he said it because he was also a little delirious at the time because he was having a fucking heart attack.
Yeah.
But he still somehow managed to walk 8 miles a few hours later.
Yeah,
So
dude,
that's
how the
pretty
fuck do you walk 8? Dude, I don't even know if I could walk 8 miles now. Like, that's a lot of fucking miles.
Yeah, I don't know. And
This kid's named Clarence. He goes to private school.
Well, I don't know. What that's
8
from.
Mile.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
I cracked an 8 Mile joke, but I think I've seen that movie once.
And Ted Wire's mother said that her son would never ignore anyone's plea for help. That's just the type of person that he was. And also brought up like the story of how he helped that person who had overdosed.
Yeah.
So she mentions that she doesn't think that was them, possibly because their son would have helped him.
Oh, yeah.
Although going through a huge panic, we don't know what they were going through. He could have been so freaked out and stressed out and panicking, maybe he wouldn't have helped. But I mean, I do think it was them because their car was there.
Yeah.
All right, and the second sighting, this was the other notable sighting. It was a report from a woman that was working at a store in the town of Brownsville, about 30 miles away from the spot where the car was abandoned. In this town, it could have been reached by the group if they kept continuing down the road from the abandoned spot, but it was like 30 miles away, but it would have been on the way if they would have kept going. And the store owner also corroborated her account seeing them. She stated that 4 of them had stopped in at the store in a red pickup truck 2 days after the disappearance.
It's pretty cool because that town's called Brownsville. And, like, a lot of the stuff they do, like, you buy one thing and you get it for $31.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah. And
I like that. I like that.
And also you get to draft a lot of stuff.
Dog pound, baby.
Yes,
We're
that's
going to be
right.
fucking good this year.
Yeah, that's true.
And the woman identified them immediately when they stopped in because they looked like they were from out of the area due to their, quote, big eyes and facial expressions. She identified, I mean, she didn't know who they were, but she knew they were from out of town.
Yeah.
She identified 2 of them as Hewitt and Sterling, and they were the 2 that were outside using the phone booth while the other 2 went inside. So police believe she was a credible witness to this. And the store owner also told investigators that he believed Weir and Hewitt were the 2 that came inside. So they both give 2 descriptions. The girl thought it was 2. Like the 1-2 coming in, and then the owner thought it was a different 2.
Okay.
But Hewitt was in both of their
Okay.
so their
They both agree
stories.
with at least one.
Yeah. And then the 2 came inside. They bought burritos, chocolate milk, and sodas. So that
That goes with
yeah.
it. It fucking was them.
So as far as the junk food goes, that fits their description.
Why
definitely.
the fuck did they need chocolate milk in soda? Like, who's mixing that shit?
I don't know. So I don't know why they
Mellow
would,
yellow and chocolate milk. Sounds pretty
And-
good.
Fuck that.
and I don't know why they would drive all this way and completely ignore the fact that they had that basketball game the next day in the morning. Because I mean, that seems like that's what matters most to them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was them or not. It
Dude.
kind of fits a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
What they bought fits a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Also, it does make sense that Weir and Hewitt would be the 2 together that were seen because they were 2 that were always together the most often. So they were kind of like best friends within the group.
Yeah.
However, one note, Jack Hewitt, he was said to have hated using the telephone so much that whenever people would call for him, that he would just have his brother use the phone instead, even if it was one of the friends in the group calling.
Oh, wow.
And that was one that was said to possibly be using the phone outside. So I don't know, though.
Acting
Who
out a
knows?
character.
But also, this report didn't come out until after a reward of $1,000 was listed for any information. So that is also a little sketchy as
Yeah.
well.
Kind of makes it seem less credible.
And Matthias's stepfather stated that he thought this was a case of mistaken identity because the boys wouldn't have had any extra money to buy food because they only had enough money for that one trip earlier. So what the fuck? They give them each like 84 cents? What the fuck? You don't have enough food, have enough money for that. Like that doesn't even make like that sucks. So that can't be a reason. There's no way that was them. They can't buy 2 candy bars today.
Hey boys,
they fucking Charlie from Willy Wonka.
Hey boys, before you go, I left 4 $2 bills on the fucking table for you. Grab those on your way out.
And if you spend it, you're getting your ass beat later. Just for looks.
That's what happened to him.
Oh no. So I don't know. Plus, it's like they bought nothing that whole time. Like the first trip, they only bought like 4 or 5 things between them all.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't know how the stepfather would know exactly how much money all of them had either. That's a little weird.
Maybe like one of them, but not all of them. That doesn't really make much sense.
So as far as the sightings go, that was really all they had. They had nothing to go on. So one of the families had contacted a psychic to help with the search. And one of the psychics told them that the boys were all kidnapped and taken to Arizona. And another psychic told them that the 5 were murdered in Oroville in a 2-story red brick house with a gravel driveway, and even gave a house number stating it was either 4723 or 4753. And the cops searched for days, driving down all the streets in Oroville. But spoiler alert, that fucking house doesn't exist.
Did they actually fucking check that out?
They had to check every lead. They didn't know what the hell was going on. Like the lieutenant who was in charge, he went to school with some of them, so he was kind of taking it like personally, like working on this, and he would go after every lead he could.
Wow.
And he drove himself like going nuts trying to figure it out. So he went to Oroville and went down all the streets trying to find this house.
Too bad it wasn't just now where you just type that shit into the
I know,
GPS.
dude. Fucking, I hate fortune tellers,
Oh,
psychics. Such fucking liars.
Yeah, they got fucking murdered. Give me like 10 more bucks.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where.
Except Miss Cleo.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
She
she
was
was
awesome.
she was definitely real.
The cards never lie.
All those fucking stupid ass commercials.
Yeah, shaking those fine tits all over the place. Late night television. Don't come in here, Dad. It's me and Miss Cleo time.
I mean, it is cool that she's still in business because she's that fucking what's that chicken place? Is it Popeyes?
Oh yeah, Louisiana.
Yeah, she looks a lot like that chick.
The whole,
You cracked a joke about that last podcast.
the whole reason Miss Cleo still stays in business because Kevin still has her number.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Personal cell, baby.
Hey, do you see it in the cards? You showing me those titties later?
Maybe I could spill some semen on those chocolate titties of yours.
All right, now on to the discovery of the bodies. June 4th. So, yeah, that was at the end of February. There's nothing found till June 4th.
Damn, dude, June 5th was the fucking was it Bodum Lake killer? Yeah.
A group of motorists rode into a deserted Forest Service trailer camp at the end of the road and noticed an awful smell. And he said, "Do you smell it? That smell? A kind of smelly smell. The smelly smell that smells
Smelly. Fuck yes, dude.
So that's sorry. I mean, that's me because that's a dead body.
Yeah.
But Mr. Krabs.
Oh yeah.
The location was about 20 miles from the abandoned car. The motorcyclists came to a trailer with a broken out window. They went up to the door and opened it, and they were hit with the smell of a decaying body inside. That body was Ted Weir's.
Wait, they opened what?
Like a camper door?
Yeah, it was like an abandoned service trailer.
Oh, okay.
So they broke the window to get in.
Yeah.
So it was out of service.
Well, it wasn't out of food or gas that we'll find out.
Oh,
though.
shit.
So Ted was stretched out on a bed inside a 60-foot-long trailer, and he was frozen to death. He was wrapped up in 8 sheets, and he has sheets wrapped over his body and around his head. His leather shoes were often missing, and his feet were badly frostbitten.
I don't know why. I thought they found this guy in the car. That's why I was confused. I don't know why I took this from when I was researching. I thought they found him in the car like this.
Well, they sometimes say he was found in like a trailer bed, and that kind of made it sound like he's found in the back of a truck.
Yeah.
So when I first was researching, I thought he was found in the back of a truck for a while.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was in the car.
So Ted, he was around 200 pounds before he went missing. However, he had lost somewhere between 80 to 100 pounds when his body was found.
Jesus.
And his beard and facial hair had grown so much that he appeared to have been alive, albeit starving, dying, and freezing, for anywhere between 8 to 13 weeks.
Holy shit.
So that is fucking ridiculous. That's insane.
Doesn't make any sense.
And on a table inside the trailer, there was a nickel ring with the name Ted engraved on it, a gold necklace, his wallet with cash inside, so he could have bought another candy bar, and a gold watch with a missing crystal, which all the families said didn't belong to any of the 5 men. So some people think that could be a clue, but some people like that could have just been fucking sitting there.
Oh, yeah,
So
easily.
Who knows?
Yeah.
See, he did have cash. You were wrong, Dad.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's what you get.
This is for you, Dad. Jingle all the way. So they believe that Ted broke in through the window and then wrapped up in sheets and slowly starved and froze to death.
Like, really fucking slowly,
Yeah.
though. Like, why didn't he just leave?
Although they don't believe he was the only one, though.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we'll talk about it. And here's what is really strange and fucked up about this. There is no evidence of any fire being built, even though there were plenty of matches in the trailer, as well as a bunch of wood furniture and paperback books that could have been used. So he never...
Yeah, but was it Babysitter's Club? 'Cause
Goosebumps.
You can't burn that.
Yeah,
Can't
sure.
burn that shit. And there were more than a dozen C ration cans that were found to have been open and empty, and one had been opened with an Army P38 can opener, which only 2 of the 5 had been in the Army and would have known how to properly use one of those. So Madruga and Matthias. So they believe one of them possibly were still alive with Ted here.
Okay.
And also, though, in that same shed where those C ration cans were found, like they were in the trailer, but they were taken from the shed.
Okay.
There was an unopened locker that contained enough dehydrated dinners and other meals that could have fed all 5 of them for over a year.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. That's fucking
So that's
crazy.
a shit ton of food.
Yeah.
So it's like they had all the shit to survive and just
Didn't.
chose not to use any of it.
Yeah.
Or
And-
didn't.
This trailer is just like out in the middle of the woods. Like, is it part of like a trailer park or?
Yeah, it was like a service trailer area. So this was out in the woods that they found.
Oh, okay.
But it would have been like, I mean, they had a lot of provisions and shit. The way I imagine it is maybe like a park ranger, possibly. I'm pulling this out of my ass, but that's just how I picture it. It was
Okay.
maybe like a park ranger's cabin that wasn't being used, but it was there
I
to
gotcha.
like help and
That
shit.
kind of makes sense.
Okay.
And there was also a propane tank outside connected that they never turned on, which if they would have had heat and gas in the trailer. So like it was full. They could have just flipped it on and been fine.
Yeah. And too bad they didn't have Hank Hill on their cell phone because that fucking worked out.
I know. You better not make those steaks well done, though, dude.
It's true.
And 3/4 of a mile northwest of the trailer, there was also a plastic lighter that was found, but none of the boys smoked. So they don't know if that could be a clue or if that's just completely unrelated.
somebody threw
Probably
it.
unrelated would be my
Yeah.
guess. So yeah, that's incredibly sad and very odd.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that you couldn't ask for like a better situation to come into if you're lost in the woods. You find a house that has enough food for 5 people for over a year.
They just didn't.
It has shit to start a fire. You have heat and gas. You just got to turn it on. And they don't do any of that.
Yeah. Like, it really doesn't make any sense.
No. And the following day, so this would have been June 5th, the bodies of Madruga and Sterling were found. They were on opposite sides of the road where the trailer would have been, but this was 11 miles from the car. And Madruga's body was partially eaten by animals and dragged 10 feet into a stream. And Sterling was found in a wooded area, and his bones were scattered around over 50 feet. So it sounds like they went outside. I don't know if they were trying to find a way out, or I don't know what they're doing, but it sounds like animals killed them after they were frozen to death.
Which that reminds you so much of Dyatlov Pass.
Yeah. That's why a lot of them refer to it
Yeah.
as the American Dyatlov Pass.
Yeah, there's so much there.
So that's 3 bodies found so far. And 2 days after that, Jackie Hewitt's father decided to come out and help on the search. And they tried to talk him out of it, like, no, you don't want to help with this. But he insisted on helping. And Jack Hewitt's father would end up being the one that found the remains of his son.
Oh, fucking shit.
Yeah, that's fucked up. He found the spine, which ended up being his son's. And he also found his son's Levi's and shoes as well. So that's like fucking super heartbreaking.
Yeah, that
to
sucks.
be the one to find your dead kid. I mean, not a kid. I mean, yeah, he's his kid. I know
Dead
he's
son.
Yeah, that shit sucks.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
Would you know my name?
Oh, God, dude.
If I saw you
Oh,
in
shit.
heaven, that could get me into hell.
Yeah, dude.
easily.
We're sorry. Is what Eric
Eric
Clapton.
Clapton.
Yeah, Eric Clapton. Yeah.
Sorry, that was bad.
Yeah, dude. His son fell out a window, right?
Yeah, that was oof.
Yeah.
That was heartless.
That was a
I'm
tough
so
one.
sorry.
That was a tough one.
That was mean.
I mean, it's not the worst joke we've cracked,
Oh,
but
but that was mean. And
I hope he doesn't hear it.
And 100 yards away, a skull was found, and a family dentist would later identify it as indeed being Jackie's. So that's 4 bodies found. And Hewitt's body also had been found near 3 wool blankets and a flashlight. So as far as Gary Mathias goes, there was no sign of him. The only thing they came across were his tennis shoes that were inside the service trailer. So his shoes were in there.
Yeah.
And remember, Ted's shoes in the trailer were missing. So some speculate that Gary
put
had
on his
switched shoes.
Yeah.
Maybe because Ted's were leather and warmer, or because they were bigger and Gary's feet were now swollen with frostbite. So maybe he put on the shoes. Whether he took them to go find help, we have no way of knowing.
I could see it as like he might have stepped in a puddle and he came back to get drier shoes.
That too, yeah, could be.
I mean, it's all just guesses. We really don't know, but it is.
Yeah, they never found him.
I think it is a good guess to say he switched shoes with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nobody knows what happened to him. His body was never found. He was
Yes.
never heard from again.
So fucking
And
creepy.
nobody knows why they went down that road in the mountains in the opposite direction, and nobody knows what the hell happened that night. It was later found out that Mathias knew people in Forbestown, which was halfway between Chico and Yuba City, and it was on a side road that could have easily been missed. So maybe Mathias had convinced them to head there to see his friend, and then they all got lost. But I don't know. I don't see all them agreeing to that with that big game in the morning.
Yeah, I
And
wouldn't
plus,
think so either.
I know Mathias is the only one that's not considered mentally challenged, but he was schizophrenic. I don't know if maybe he convinced them all, or some speculate a theory that maybe after being out there, his meds ran out, or he didn't take his medication, and then he had like an episode and just freaked everyone else out, and maybe they all ran off.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird theories out there.
Are there any that he killed them? Because I don't remember seeing any, but it kind of like...
I didn't really see any either. That was one of my first thoughts when I heard about this, like... Maybe he had something to do with it because he's the only one that was never found again, and he was schizophrenic.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any real theories
There's no,
like that.
I mean, there's no evidence for it, really. But
No, and that's the thing. There's no evidence of any foul play,
like really for anything.
but there's also no evidence that there wasn't foul play. So
like, there's no evidence for anything, really.
I've got a theory that when they were driving, one of the boys, they said it would help out anyone in need. So he might have saw a hitchhiker, and let's just say it's a woman with a baby to get sympathy. And she eventually told him her house was where that service trailer area was. So she had him drive down that road. And then she just took their keys and left with a truck pickup guy maybe or something.
I mean, yeah, I like that.
It's
theory.
weird that she didn't rob them or do anything, but there could just be fucked up people that just want people to die in a way.
I like it, really, because there really isn't anything else.
Yeah.
the thing with the pickup truck is weird because the guy who said he saw it, he now says like he doesn't remember if he saw it or not. He says he remembers making that statement, but because he was going through a heart attack, he was in so much pain and shit, he was starting to see shit. But then the second girl says that they also showed up in a pickup truck.
Oh, yeah.
But did she say that after hearing his?
But that's the thing. She said it after there was a reward announced, which could be completely unrelated. Maybe she didn't.
Was his story already public?
That's the thing. I don't know if his story was public or not.
Because if it wasn't public, then that actually seems like it could be credible. But if it's public, then she's used that to try to get some money.
So like all the major questions are like, why did they drive that way? Why did they leave a perfectly fine car when it was like so shitty out? Why walk 20 miles in the cold at night through snow? Where is Mathias? Was there any foul play involved? So those are kind of like the main questions going on here. And do you have any theories or anything you want to say about any of those questions?
For me, this actually is a little bit more weird than Dyatlov Pass for me, because Dyatlov Pass, they were probably fucked as soon as like the stuff went down, like whatever happened to the tent, they were probably eventually going to be fucked anyway. It was freezing, they couldn't go anywhere. With this, they were completely fine.
Yeah, they had everything they needed to survive.
More than one situation. It wasn't even just they could have just stayed in the fucking car, or they just not gone that way. Yeah. So to me, it's more weird because they put themselves in danger and then didn't get themselves out. And that really, that's fucking creepy as shit.
And there was one theory, I think it was on Reddit, where they suggested that possibly Matthias maybe convinced him to go visit his friend, and maybe they were going to talk about the game they just saw or something. And while he was doing it, maybe he didn't take his medication earlier, maybe in like preparation for the game. Like I know some people who were on medication who wouldn't take it before basketball games because they wanted to have like more energy and shit.
Yeah.
Maybe he started having like an episode and he started freaking out and thought maybe people were following him, they said.
Okay.
And so maybe he tried to get him to take a side road.
And
Then after they got stuck, they saw that guy's headlights and started to freak out with it. And they were like, oh shit, maybe we really are getting followed. And then they kind of just ran off, and that was how they got stuck there and out in there. But
that's a good theory for the beginning.
yeah, but I don't know.
But it doesn't make sense, why they didn't try to use any of that food.
Yeah.
Why they went so far.
No idea.
And where the fuck that dude is.
No. I mean, I'm guessing he probably died in a different direction, like a couple miles away. Like
Yeah.
I think he just had the same fate as all of them.
I mean,
They just never found his body. But I mean, there'd be no way to find it now. It's probably just
decomposed enough
in
to
nature and animals and shit, the weather and everything. I think there'd be no way to find him. But I think he died somewhere right around there.
Well, in my religion, if you die like that, you come back as Courage the Cowardly Dog. So, let's not,
Hell yeah.
let's not act like my religion isn't true.
So, you guys have any theories?
Return the slab.
Oh, dude, that shit's so fucking creepy, dude.
My theory is that they all rolled natural ones on their perception checks,
Oh, no.
and then all rolled natural ones on their nature checks.
Oh, no.
So they became one with nature.
And, like, for a little bit, they rolled a natural 20 on survival, but then instantly rolled a natural 1 right after. It's like, oh, shit, you found the trailer and everything.
Looks like Mother Nature rolled a natural 20.
Yeah. That's sad, man. It sucks.
The only thing he rolled a natural 20 on was the shoe switch. I'm going to try and swap shoes with him. What did I get?
But no, that's what sucks. Is I hate it's so hard because you have no idea.
Yeah.
Like there's so many logical things that you would think would happen that didn't happen, and it's tough not to know what happened.
See, it's crazy because we've done a lot of podcasts where at the end I don't have an answer, but I think for this one I have the least answers. Like there's no explanation for really anything.
This was kind of funny. There is I was watching a YouTube video on this, and one of the comments was ET/extraterrestrials. They were abducted and dropped off and went on and stuff. And the next comment was like, "This is the least logical answer I've ever read."
Oh fuck yes,
That was
dude.
kind of funny.
Was Andrew okay after? Normally it was his answer.
Yeah, but I'll say I'm sticking to my theory, the malevolent hitchhiker.
What was that exactly? I know you heard it. But
They picked up the chick with the baby, and she brought them out there while they were being followed by the pickup truck, and because they didn't find their keys, right? Because they had to hotwire the car.
right.
Yeah.
They
So I
never
think
found
she
the
might have
keys.
took their keys and be like, "Fuck,
I'm guessing.
fuck you, retards." Later.
Oh my god. I'm guessing the keys have to be on Matthias or
That'd be my guess. Yeah.
or Squints' grandpa.
But I do like the whole he got off his meds thing because he did also have schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And, like-
it was paranoid schizophrenia.
Mm-hmm.
And his other one could have been messed up. I am Enigma.
Oh shit.
Because like if you're paranoid schizophrenics, like and the other guys, they weren't. I'm not trying to like be mean about it, but they weren't like. I'm not gonna say they're not the smartest guys, but they were probably easily convinced, about things. So if he got really freaked out thinking somebody was following him and like wanted them to take another road, maybe they would have. Maybe it was really convincing. But then that only makes sense for one part of it.
No, it's close because like he could have got paranoid and been like, "Guys, we have to go find my friend. He's the one who could save us." Blah 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 blah. And like he took the keys and was like really pushing about it.
Yeah.
And he's also the one who was missing too.
Yeah, so where is he? And then why didn't they use the food in the trailer?
Yeah, that part's a
like
little
that.
weird.
Like that's where I don't have like a theory for that at all.
Yeah, how did Homeboy survive 8 to 13 weeks and grow a
Dude,
fucking
what the
beard?
fuck? I forgot about
And like,
that.
what's he eating? Like,
Yeah.
they said there's a couple rations on the.
Well, he had those 12 cans of shit that he opened.
I mean, just 12, or I don't know how big a can is. I guess.
I really don't know.
Dude, why the fuck didn't he just get up and leave? There's nothing broken on him, right?
I don't think so. Just frostbite. And
Like why the
freezing
fuck when you
super
get up and
cold.
leave? Like he had a bunch of sheets.
He
and
had
shit.
all the stuff he needed
Oh.
to survive. He just.
Have you guys ever been like wrapped up in sheets and like you can't like wiggle yourself out of there? I mean, he was wrapped up in 8 of them, man. Can
Like
you
mummy?
imagine? Yeah, can you imagine wiggling out of there?
I mean, he could
It's gotta
probably
be
stand
tough.
up.
Maybe.
His feet were also super badly frostbitten.
See, that could have been it. Like maybe they left him to try to find help.
Yeah,
and then,
so they do think that 2 or 3 of them possibly were in that trailer, and then they think that the ones found outside died first, maybe, and it was just Matthias and Ted alive. And then towards the end, Matthias went to go find help, and then he died on his own, and then Ted died out. So that's a theory.
So they think Ted was the last one to die because he was in the trailer.
And there's also a theory that based on the car and where it was, that they don't think any of them actually drove this car there. There's a theory that maybe they were kidnapped or forced. I mean, I don't know. But because of no damage or anything to the car,
Yeah.
and they'd have no way of knowing what the road was like, that they don't think any of them were capable of driving.
So maybe they were left there, and then like the car
So possibly.
got
They
ditched.
were
That
left for dead.
actually that does kind of make sense. Like they left him there and then ditched the car.
And here's some quotes from the family real quick, because they all kind of believe that something must have scared them. That's the only way they would have left, is they think something scared them.
Yeah.
So here's a quote. "There was some force that made him go up there," Jack Madruga's mother said. "They wouldn't have fled off in the woods like a bunch of quail. We know good and well that somebody made them do it. We can't visualize someone getting the upper hand on those 5 men, but we know it must have been." And then Ted Wire's sister-in-law stated, "They saw something at the game at the parking lot. They might have seen it and didn't realize that they seen it." So they're just, I don't really get that one.
Wait,
but
yeah,
they just are
how-
saying that they think something must have scared
Was
them.
it fucking her? Like how'd she know they saw something?
And Gary's stepfather said, "I can't understand why Gary would have been so scared." It's like he's been in the army and everything.
And Gary's the one that's missing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Gary's stepfather also said, "I can't believe they bought another thing of milk. I swear to God, they only had 84 cents."
But
Who the fuck gave him more money?
and like the fact that they didn't build a fire or anything, like they can kind of understand maybe not turning on the gas,
Yeah.
but I mean they're not.
Like stupid.
Yeah,
like,
they
just had
should
like
know, and
it-
like you know,
kind
you
of
could build a
issues.
fire with all the books and wood and matches and stuff. You think they
Yeah.
would have done something?
Yeah, you would think.
All right, that's all we got on the American Dyatlov Pass case. Was there anything else you wanted to mention before Spence goes into our closing shit?
It's a fucking super weird case. I have nothing.
Yeah, it's definitely weird.
Yeah, it's weird. The fact that there's a guy still missing.
Yeah. Like I hope years down. Wait, no, they're never gonna fucking
Yep.
find him at this point. No.
He might as well be DB Cooper.
Yeah, it's too late now.
Maybe like tiny remnants of bone fragments. But I
Yeah,
doubt it.
at this point, it'd be so buried you would never find it.
All right, brother turds, we need your help. We need the Brothers Commonplace to spread far and wide, like influenza in the early 1900s.
Oh fuck yes, dude.
To do that, we need you to leave us ratings and reviews anywhere you can, especially iTunes, but anywhere you can. And if you take a screenshot and send it to us, you'll become an honorary brother. Share the podcast with everyone you can, and feel free to contact us on social media. Talk to us. Let us know how you like the podcast, or if you hated it or whatever. Give us some feedback. And yeah, that seems to be the way that people get made into honorary brothers these days. So it's not like the old days when you had to fucking run the gauntlet and swim across the fucking English Channel.
But we may eventually make you do that.
Yeah.
Whose idea was the cord?
Oh fuck yeah.
From Almost Heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So check us out on Twitter, on Facebook, or email us at brotherscommon.place. And check out our subreddit, our Brothers Commonplace.
Ooh, I keep
I like
forgetting.
that.
So I
Yeah,
got to
throw
put
that
some
in there.
shit on
Yeah.
there and join it. And a special thanks to everyone who's listening, giving us a chance, giving us reviews, all that fun stuff. And yeah, give us a 5-star iTunes review if you haven't yet. We'll make you an honorary brother. And shout out to all the people on Twitter that are keeping us involved and keeping us included on everything. You guys all rock.
Yeah, I like to give you guys a little reward, even though we haven't done it for a while. But we did get 2 from Kev to reenact one thing, so hopefully we can get him to do another. But for this week, if we get enough 5-star reviews, they're going to pretend they were on the show Legend of the Hidden Temple.
Oh, fuck.
So if you guys want to see that, definitely, or hear that, definitely give us some 5-star reviews.
Fuck yeah.
We'll see how the fuck they're going to do that.
And Spence is going to be Olmec. Alrighty, Toof, some words of wisdom to end the show, brother.
Let this be a lesson till when you let 5 of your young men go out on an adventure, always give them some extra chocolate milk and Snickers.
You holy shit, dude. You are just wise beyond your age, brother.
I don't know why I thought it was gonna be a Wild America joke. That's what the movie with like Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Who's the missing guy again? That's the missing.
Gary Mathias.
Mathias. I know you're out there, you son of a bitch. Hashtag wild man.
Oh shit, dude! Nice.
All right, Dad, get in here. You can. My dad's been fucking begging me all week to do this on the podcast. Get in here, Dad. Put the PBR down, and the Pall Malls.
Oh yeah.
I see the pack rolled up in your sleeve, Dad. Just put it down here. Take the mic. Say what it is you wanted to say. How do you like me now? Now that I'm on my way. You used to think I was crazy. You call me fucking gay. All right, Dad. Get back to your room.
I was just saying, your dad came in. He's like, "You're lucky you weren't out there with them, boy, or else it would have been a 6-pack of retards."
Come on, shit. Dad. Oh, God damn it. He's coming back. What, Dad? Well, I was always a crazy one. You were the valedictorian. I broke into the gymnasium. I farted on the 30-yard line. All right, Dad. Get out of here. Yeah. Thanks, Dad.
No problem, man.
What are we doing? Okay, anything else? All right, thank you, everyone, for listening. Be good. Stay safe.
Laugh at the dark stuff. Hashtag wild man.
Hashtag wild man. Hashtag pretzel dog. Hashtag T-Bro nutsack.
This February, history will be made. Millions will watch as 80 years of unjust stigma is left in the past. A product that drove good people to the black market will be revealed as one that's creating a new global market. This February, what inspired the symbol of counterculture will at long last be seen as just culture. The new normal is coming. Will you be one of the first to see it? Visit medmen.com to watch an exclusive preview. This February, history will be made. Millions will watch as 80 years of unjust stigma is left in the past. A product that drove good people to the black market will be revealed as one that's creating a new global market. This February, what inspired the symbol of counterculture will at long last be seen as just culture. The new normal is coming. Will you be one of the first to see it? Visit medmen.com to watch an exclusive preview.